Jagdeo condemns violent crisis between Israel and Palestine and has issued a strong public condemnation of the atrocities being perpetrated against the people of Palestine.
Several interventions are ongoing to minimize the effects of the current December-January rains, now predicted to last until March.
And President Barry Jagdeo says an interim board will be set up to guide SUCO to address problems which have been affecting the sugar industry.
The details of these and other stories, the Diamond Mineral Water and MCN Sport News, and more in tonight's news. Good evening, I'm Natasha Smith.
And I'm Paul Moore.
At this edition of the MCN 6 o'clock news for today, Wednesday, January 7, 2009. Here's what's happening.
Thanks, Natasha. Jagdeo condemns violent crisis between Israel and Palestine and has issued a strong public condemnation of the atrocities being perpetrated against the people of Palestine. The President, in a statement last evening, said he's been following with grave concern the events that have unfolded at the Gaza Strip, and to him it seems to be a form of sanctioned genocide. Here are details.
President Barry Jagdeo says the Jewish people, who have suffered much over the years through persecution and the uneven use of force, should understand the plight of the Palestinians. In this regard, he says a global opposition to the Israeli action is necessary. The President, the first CARICOM leader to make a public statement on the issue, says Guyana condemns the violence being perpetrated, especially the murder of innocent women and children. He added that his government has over the years advocated for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, with the people of Israel and Palestine living in their independent countries in peace and harmony. The President's statement added that Guyana will continue to support this position and therefore called for an immediate ceasefire and for the two sides to return to the negotiating table. He stressed that only through this medium could a solution be found for peace between the peoples of the two states. Mr. Jagdeo's call follows sharp in the heels of the UN Security Council meeting Monday on the Israeli-Hamas conflict in Gaza. At that meeting, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon warned that Tuesday's deadly Israeli shelling of United Nations schools, where hundreds of Gazans had sought refuge, made a ceasefire more urgent than ever. Already the ruling People's Progressive Party, GAU, and the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana, among others, have condemned Israel's actions. Palestine President Mahmoud Abbas appealed to the 15-member UN Council to stop the new catastrophe at the hands of the Israeli machine of destruction now plaguing Palestine. But the international press reported Israeli Ambassador Gabriela Shalev saying that 8,000 rockets and mortars have been aimed against Israel from Gaza over the past 8 years. According to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, over 570 Palestinians have already been killed and over 2,700 have been injured, with nearly 2 weeks of attacks by the Israeli military. Edward Lane, the 6 o'clock news.
The price for greens on the local markets has increased by some 50% over the past month or so. MCN's Ernestine Jagdeline visited the markets and filed this report.
The prices for greens and vegetables in the local markets have increased significantly in recent times. MCN visited 2 major markets within the city to seek answers. In this regard, vendors say due to the recent heavy downpours which was experienced throughout the country, farmers and suppliers were forced to hike their prices due to the scarcity of the produce. However, the prices for some imported vegetables on the markets remain stable.
Yeah, prices affected the greens to the market, yes, because the flood, due to the flood, green price are up. We don't normally buy to sell that, and the price, when we go to buy back from you, sales people, the price is very high, so we got to sell. I can't how we buy it. We selling cabbage 200 a pound. What, 140? Bora, they say right now it's 200. We used to pay like $700, $800 bundle. Now we have to pay $1,500 bundle.
Yes, right now we buy celery for $1,000 a pound. And cello to $600. That's $100. We have to pay them $100. Was $40. We're buying it for $600 a pound, and we usually sell it for $40, but we have to sell it for $100 now. The Belanger is $8,000 a bag. We're selling it $100 and $400. Normally we used to sell for $100 and $200. We got to sell for $200 and $400. Well, it's raised since last month when it was Christmas season. It raised. Because of the rainy season, that's why everything gone up.
About $2.60 pound.
And what was the price before?
The price was like Italian $80, $70, $60 before.
Or do you have any reason why the price went up?
And the rain was fall, and the people that flood out, so the grains got to go because some people that don't flood out a little bit high, get a little bit of come and call the price, you can't fix to them. The plantain is valued at 60 pounds. And I used to buy it at 30 pounds. The plantain is 100 a pound. The edo is valued at 40 pounds, sell back at 60 pounds. Same thing with potato, same thing with cassava.
Some persons have reported that business is as normal, while others may experience some amount of losses. It has been noted that the prices will return to some normalcy once there is a break in the weather pattern for the crops and especially for those in demand. This again brings to the fore once more the global crisis that has affected countries worldwide. Initial causes of the late 2006 price spikes included unseasonable droughts in grain-producing nations and rising oil prices. Climatic factors, coupled with falling world food stockpiles, have all been a contributor to the dramatic worldwide rise in food prices. Ernestine Jagnoyan reporting for the MTN 6 O'Clock News.
The People's Progressive Party has expressed concern about persons suffering under difficult flood conditions due to severe rainfall over the past month. The party has acknowledged government's efforts to provide relief, but notes the danger of a recurrence cannot be ruled out given the present climatic conditions. It warns that the flood experience in 2005 was not a one-off event and says the administration will have to invest more in the national drainage system to minimize similar episodes. The PPP is also calling on its members and supporters to work with government to assist those in need and is urging persons in flood-affected communities to take all precautionary measures to prevent diseases. Director General of the Maritime Administration Department, Ivor English, says new safety mechanisms will be implemented to reduce fatalities on Guyana's waters. He has also outlined several targets that the unit hopes to meet this year. More in this report.
Director General of the Maritime Administration Department, Ivor English, says safety standards at various ports were kept at an optimal level in 2008. It is estimated that 513 vessels were issued license, while some operators benefited from maritime training through technical assistance from several governments and the International Maritime Agency. English says maritime safety is critical to operations and more rigid mechanisms will have to be set up to reduce the number of fatalities which occurred last year.
We found that in the Quarantine River, one of the persons that was found that died actually had on a life jacket, but would have fallen through the life jacket because it was improperly secured. We have decided to use the life-saving equipment that goes on the shoulder, which allows flotation for a person in excess of 70 pounds and above.
English says the department is also aiming to have more navigational aids established to spot vessels entering territorial waters.
Contract will be awarded for the acquisition of new aids to navigation to improve the quality of navigation in the ship channel. We also had consultations with the Shipping Association for improvement of navigation in the upper reaches of the Demerara River.
The Maritime Head notes that there was a backlog in dredging in the Essequibo and Demerara channels during 2008 due to equipment failure. This situation has since been remedied with assistance from central government, and operations are expected to recommence this year. Reporting for the 6 O'Clock News, I'm Shardulal.